Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into this video here. It's been a big little time or period for me because, as you know by the thumbnail, I'm now 1 year sober, and I wanted to make this video and are excited to make this video because it doesn't require a whole bunch of editing, because I'm just going to do one take and speak from the heart about my journeys, about the reasons why I decided to stop alcohol, why I also decided to drink it to start with, and the changes it's made. And I really hope that with the video I can help some people out there who are struggling and also curious what the sober life is like, because just like many others, it's helped me, and I'm a firm believer it will continue to help me. So if someone gets anything from this, then look, I've done my job. So let's go back. Actually, before we get into it, I want to start by saying that I have absolutely no judgment at all to people who drink alcohol. I really don't. I know that it's around us everywhere. It's a societal common thing that we all do or did, and I have no judgment to anyone that consumes it. I also know that my relationship with alcohol is probably a little bit different to some as well. I know that some are really struggling, and it's a real shame to see people struggle with the substance, and my journey with it is a lot different. So I just wanted to ensure that, without sounding preachy in any capacity, that there's an understanding of everyone is different in relation to using the substance, and I hold no judgments for anyone who continues to drink or who chooses to become sober. But let's go back to when I first started consuming alcohol. I was probably about 16 years old. Me and my buddies used to, steal the occasional beer out of the fridge, and during certain occasions we would link up, and all of a sudden you're drinking a few too many beers, you get your first kind of hangover, you might vomit the first time, and that was fun. That was really fun. And growing up in New Zealand, where it is a big part of society in New Zealand, huge binge drinking culture there, it was, for me, it was just common for everyone. So as we all did, we basically drank, and I did that growing up into my further adolescence, into my early adulthood, into my early 20s, where I really started to find the life of the party and enjoy the life of the party. I used to love drinking, getting absolutely hammered, vomiting. I was known at times to be the guy that vomited during drinking so I could drink more, like many New Zealanders. And I hate saying that because I feel somewhat, I feel like that's such a different person. I'm such a different person than that person there. But I also know that there's a lot of people out there who are doing those things too. And how's it going? And then through my 20s kind of continued, and I was a part of some sport groups, which I was lucky to be a part of. Professional cricket environments where we used to train hard, but a lot of the struggles that I used to deal with self-doubt, which I still struggle with, I resorted to alcohol and used that a way to kind of fit in to maybe some older peers, to hide my anxieties, and it became a habit. It really did. When I moved to Vancouver, which is where I'm at now, walking through Pacific Spirit, for those that know it, I continued to drink and really enjoyed that. How's it going?
Howdy. Instead of yo,
The power video, eh? Where was I? Yeah, so turned up to Vancouver and I drank. It was a way to meet people. It was a way to blend in, and it was great. I absolutely loved it, and it really helped me. And as I look back to those days, I realized that my life was very much involved around the weekends. I would drink more so around the weekends than what I did in the weekdays. And as I continued to get older, I'm 35 now, a couple of years ago, it wasn't so much getting hammered in the weekend, it was more so I was consuming 3 or 4 beers after work every day. You know, after a hard day's work at the gym, as a personal trainer myself, you know, I used to walk past the liquor store every afternoon after every shift and get 2 or 3 tall boys. And I love sitting down on the couch. You know, I'm a firm believer we as humans love comfort. And, you know, that's what I loved. I love sitting down on the couch with a couple of beers and just kind of taking my mind off the stresses of the world. So that's what I did every night. And during that kind of period when that started to happen, I kind of realized I was drinking too much. Obviously summer comes around, you end up being in more environments where you're drinking a lot more. And all of a sudden, you're drinking 20, 30 standard drinks a week. We all know that's not great. We all know that the substance is a poison. And I realized that. And as a personal trainer, I struggled with that. I also noticed that when I was going out and, something in my shoe there. When I was going out and drinking, I used to get really self-conscious, really anxious. Had a lot of these self-doubts, which I struggled with, including things such as holding a good conversation. You know, holding a conversation where I could intrigue people to want to continue to talk to me. And I was even conscious about every sentence, every word I'd say, even to my best friends. I would still feel the same way. And I kind of knew if I'm feeling that way around my good peers, that ain't good. That ain't good. So what I did, I decided to have a month off. And I think a lot of people, it's like, you know, dry January or dry July, whatever or whenever. For me, it happened every year, a dry month. And what was interesting is I always loved those months. I always loved them. I always thought they were great for the soul, great for my mental clarity, and I just felt great. But there was always an occasion to continue drinking again. Whether it was a wedding, a trip back home to New Zealand, or something. There was always something on where, hey buddy, always something on where I started to drink again. And this happened probably for 3 years. And I continued to go through these roller coaster things, such as having bad anxieties, having a lot of guilt. One thing I haven't talked about yet is the guilt that it caused me. You know, physically, I used to, as I say, be a trainer. I am a trainer, but when I did drink, it used to make me feel super guilty, like I wasn't looking after my body. I wasn't giving myself the best chance to be physically to my peak shape or peak condition. And as I got older, I realized that things are hard, you know, but stiffer in the, you know, getting up most mornings, you know, it's like everything's harder. It takes a lot longer to warm up. Got a lot more injuries, calves and hamstrings when I was running a lot, playing cricket. You know, a lot of things started to happen. So I used to feel guilty a lot. And then there's the mental guilt of, you know, I drank. Oh, I feel like, you know, shit, and, you know, just the guilt with alcohol in general and not being to my top mental ability was a huge reason why I felt guilty. But anyway, this happened a lot. Where was I? Yeah, so kind of going back to the reason why I decided to have these month on or month off was purely to give my soul some clarity and my physical body some clarity. And every month it was bloody brilliant, let me tell you. So when I came back from Paris last New Year's, I had drank a lot of beers, a lot of wine, a lot of cheese, and I hated my physical body. I really did. Every time I tried to do something, I'd have a sore back, my calf would be, you know, not great. And I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? And I came back, and instead of thinking, no, I'm gonna have a month off like I had done for the previous 3 years, I just said, I'm done. And I realized it was the lowest hanging fruit for me to change. And instead of having a day where I thought I'd start drinking again, I just said, I'm not drinking. And I really believed internally that that's what I wanted to do. And also a reason why I'm here right now, 1 year on. And I'm super proud of myself for it. I really am. But at the same time, I really believed in, I believed in not drinking at that time in my life, because I was just so sick of it. I was so sick of going on these roller coaster situations of feeling like shit, blaming alcohol for everything, causing issues, having no cash. That was another thing. You know, I'm a believer that we spend our money on what we value, and I was spending sometimes $200, $300 a week on it, and I can't afford that, especially living in one of the most expensive cities in the world, Vancouver. I couldn't afford that shit. So I kind of said, stuff this, I'm done. And that's kind of the reason, or the reasons that have built up, hey buddy, to why I stopped. So it wasn't really one definitive point or moment or situation where I was like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, like I know some people do. But for me, it was more so the build-up, the continuous things happening that made me want to just say, nah, stuff this. So it's been a year. Let's talk about the struggles I've faced during that year. Let's start with I think the biggest thing for me was knowing that I would have some health benefits. I sleep so much better. Gee, I sleep well now and I love it. I love it. I love waking up in the mornings. As a trainer, I'm up at 5:30, whatever, to go to work. And I can do that easy. I get up before my alarm. And I love being up that time morning. It also reminds me of the times when I was a kid and the weekends, and I was going to play sport. If you guys know what that's like, getting up in the mornings and you just feel super excited for the day. That's kind of how I feel like most days. And I never had that during the days I drank. It was only really until I got sober where I started to feel this excitement for my days again, which I love. The one thing I kind of expected alcohol to do was open up my world. I thought that taking alcohol away would all of a sudden make me this really successful person, make me really, you know, give me some drive to do this and do that, to things that I would never have done if I drank. And drinking alcohol always gave me the excuse to say no and to say why I wasn't doing those things, such as creating a YouTube channel. And I kind of thought that it would open up this world of, like, you know, Sam's potential unleashed because of drinks or not drinking. And it's fair to say it hasn't done that. That's probably the biggest thing that I would like to say, is that there's so many benefits to it. And you're probably thinking about, you know, those watching this, like it's going to completely change your life. Don't get me wrong, it does, and it's so much better in many ways. but it doesn't take you from 0 to hero, is what I'm saying. And it took me about 3, maybe 6 months to realize that, and realize that I still had a lot of issues mentally, physically as well, and that I needed to continue growing. Which, as a result, I speak to my therapist about. You know, we chat once a month about the things I struggle with, the anxieties socially, the anxieties with work, you know, providing a professional service of high value. Those issues just all of a sudden didn't go away, but it took me to get off alcohol to realize that these were deep underlying issues that I needed to solve and get on top of. So even though I'm not perfect on that front, I'm getting better and I'm growing, and I know I'm growing and getting better by just going through that process. What else has helped? If you were to say, you know, alcohol's a drug, obviously, and it's poisonous, makes you feel fucking great. Drinking beers, don't get me wrong, I miss the days where I'm hanging out with the boys, we're sitting in a booth in a bar, and we're just round after round, and you're there till midnight, talking absolute shit. I miss those moments. I really do. But I also know that the outcome on the other side, the low, the drop, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So you ebb and flow so much, but with staying, you know, with being a year sober now, I've noticed that my bar, my ceiling, has heightened from a day-to-day perspective. So I'm just generally a lot happier, a lot more in tune with myself, a lot more understanding about myself, and just that bar is raised. Yeah, I thought it might have been a lot higher because I thought a lot of my issues were because of alcohol, but no, but it was still elevated a little bit higher, and I'll take that, and that's worth going back, and that's what keeps me here, sober and enjoying life the way it is. Yeah, I think one thing now that I'm definitely scared of is being known as the guy that doesn't drink, and therefore is the guy that doesn't get invited places or doesn't get invited to go to the bar and have fun. And I'm a pretty extrovert guy, you know, I can talk to a wall and be happy. But yeah, I think there's a thing where if someone knows that you're sober, they're not going to reach out and do the things that involve alcohol, which in society these days are most things, you know, and that's one thing I'm scared of. But also I challenge myself and put myself into social environments to prove to others that I can be out there, and I do that. Me and my girlfriend go out a lot. We're pretty social, and non-alcoholic beers are fantastic these days, so it's absolutely fantastic, and I love that. But definitely there's an element of feeling left out or losing buddies. One thing you also understand for those, change hands there, some people think that when you do stop drinking that you realize who your real mates are, and from stopping I've realized exactly that. My real buddies still stick to my side, they still text me, they still reach out, and I still have a very good relationship with my so-called friends versus people who I thought were friends were just drinking buddies and drinking associates. And it took me to not drink to realize who those real people are, and I think that's really important as we all grow old and grey. We've got to stick with people that love us for who we are and whatever. And I think people who you hang out with in a pub, a lot of them aren't real true friends, you know. So yeah, I really appreciate my friends and my girlfriend for really supporting me, and you guys for supporting me on my journey. Another thing I'll add as well, I forgot to mention, was just the general health benefits and the long-term risks of alcohol. My dad had cancer, esophagus cancer, when he was 40. And I don't know his chance of survival. Let's just say it was 50-50. It wasn't a minor surgery, we'll put it that way. And I look now and I know that I'm only 5 years away of that. And I know that alcohol is a huge risk factor for cancers in the mouth and throat. Whether to say that was a reason for dads, I don't know. But statistically and from a chance point of view, I don't want to take that chance, especially if something runs in the family. I just don't want to go down that road. There's obviously the cardiovascular benefits of not drinking, which are huge. So yeah, there's obviously the health aspect as well. Now I think going forward, will I continue this way? Yeah, I think so. I think I'm really enjoying it. I think it helps having a girlfriend who doesn't drink a hell of a lot. I think those who are in an environment where people are drinking heaps, especially roommates, especially partners, it's bloody tough. It's bloody tough. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. For those who are struggling out there, you know, use your peers, use your people that you trust, your close friends, not your drinking buddies, but your close friends, your family. Use your therapists of the world. But there's so many resources out there. Like, I use YouTube a lot. I watched these kind of stories or videos of people going through their journey, and that's why I wanted to do this one, to hopefully inform people about my struggle and, as I said, give someone a chance or inspire someone to make a better change for themselves. You know, there's tools and resources out there everywhere, guys, but I also think that we're in a society where marketing persuades the shit out of us. There's so many ads, so many temptations where alcohol is tempting. And in a way, I was maybe just being a little bit stubborn to saying I'm not letting any of that shit get on top of me, because A, I'm gonna lose a lot of cash, I'm gonna be a sucker to the big man, the big marketing man, and I'm just not willing to lose that battle. And I think, you know, that internal drive with that really helps me from staying, or helps me be sober and remain sober. And yeah, it's hard. I remember there's a couple of dinners with my girlfriend where she's drinking a nice glass of wine. I let her drink, she always asks, but I don't care if someone drinks around me. And I remember just thinking, man, it'd be nice to have a good glass of wine here, you know? Also, when I'm playing sport, my teammates, it's all about drinking beers after a game, and I miss that. I miss getting thrown a beer and sculling one back, you know, with the boys. They're the moments I cherish looking back. I really do, because it brings out, you know, happiness in people in a way when people are drunk, obviously. But I miss that. But, you know, I've accepted that I'm just that guy that drinks non-alcoholic beer after a game now, and I'm okay with that, you know. I'm happy to say that I feel better being in a gym where I'm a role model for my clients more now, and I can be someone who can stay sober, do the thing. It's so easy to say the thing, but can you do the thing as well? So me staying sober is me doing the thing, and I'm proud of myself for that. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for listening the whole way. please, please, please share your journey and maybe your experiences or learnings, whatever, in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and good luck. It's a tough world out there with this substance. I'm pretty sure we'll all agree if it was invented today, it'd be illegal pretty quickly. Good luck, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.